We are in a brand new studio. Today we're going to be talking about a new play I wrote called American Gothic. We're going to be talking about a play he wrote based on an adaptation of
Sleepy Hollow.
The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. And we're going to be looking at a song from that. And then after that, we're going to be listing our favorite shows of all time. So let's get into it.
Welcome to Struggling to Write. Right?
Hello, I am your host, Michael English, and struggling playwright.
And I am Mikey Mills.
Also a struggling host. No, a struggling playwright.
Struggling in a little bit of everything. But we're here, we're happy, and we're ready to get rolling.
Yeah, welcome to Struggling to Write. First of all, I'm sorry, but before we dive into my American Gothic, I have to ask you something.
All right.
So it's been a while since we filmed an episode. It's been a week. You have a new haircut. We're in a new studio. How this guy went to Mardi Gras?
Yeah.
How was that?
Oh, it was a blast. I mean, it's unlike anything you've ever seen. I mean, hordes of people everywhere.
And a pretty city, you say?
Oh, it's beautiful. I mean, you feel like you're in Europe, and that's why they call it the French Quarter, because, nerd history stuff, it was, owned by the French at one time. And then in the Louisiana Purchase, the United States got all that, and then a bunch of the Western United States. Best deal ever. But, yeah, New Orleans is amazing. The food's great. Spicy stuff. And the craziness is there's never a lack of entertainment. That's what I'll say, for sure.
I like entertainment.
Oh, me too.
Good people watching in New Orleans.
Oh, 100%.
I like to people watch. Yeah, I just wanted to ask you about that because some viewers might notice you're rocking a brand new cut.
Yeah, that's right.
You got your haircut done there.
So I got down there. I was like really shaggy. I was wanting to like grow my hair out like you, but it wasn't doing that. It was doing this
afro.
And sometimes you just gotta throw in the towel. Say my hair won't do this. So I walked into this place. I looked on Google Maps. I said, what haircut places are open? And most of them are closed except this one. I walk in. It looks like everything's gold-plated. I'm like, oh, God, it's going to be $200. But I was bound and determined because I wanted to look good. Yeah. And the Big Easy. So, yeah, it was only like $70.
And it came out looking good.
It came out looking great.
I like it.
Thanks.
Yeah, so now that we've talked about Mardi Gras, now
back to American Gothic.
So that is what our first read-through for today in the new studio and the new episode with Mikey's new haircut is about. So we are going to be taking a look at my American Gothic. It is the story behind why the famous painting, you've seen it, I know you've seen it, the American Gothic. The story behind why it was created and how it was created, and about 95% of the show that I've written is factual. I've taken all the research that I've looked into and I put it into a show, and it's a great story, and I think it deserves to be told. Mikey got to read it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was such a unique concept.
It's long,
but it's very good.
We stayed up until 5 a.m. reading it.
Yeah, but I enjoyed every minute of it. I mean, mostly because I'm a ham. I just like reading scripts in general, but also because I really thought it was a good show. And I never knew that about American Gothic.
I think that's half the point, too, is I want to make. A lot of the facts that I put into the show, people are going to sit back and say, really? and like what I noticed with you is
I kept looking it up.
You kept looking up the painting. Like you had to keep checking. And
I was Googling, like I didn't know the models was their dentist and the guy's sister.
Yep, that's true.
And it's hilarious that the sister's like, this isn't my husband, right? I'm the farmer's daughter, not the farmer's husband.
Right, because
this old guy isn't my husband.
Everyone, still to this day, thinks that she is the farmer's wife.
It's obvious the artist intended it to be husband and wife.
Without further ado, let's take a look at one of these scenes. Now, this is only one scene.
Yeah, we have the high-tech scripts today.
We usually have paper, but not today. We have the good old Apple. Yeah, so this is scene 1, and this is only like half of it. So this is just a little snippet of my new play, American Gothic. It's brand new. It's really new. I don't want to give a ton away right now. So, yeah,
All right.
This is all. I guess I should divvy up the characters.
Yeah, I was wondering, who do I play?
So you read for the other night, Grant.
Mm-hmm.
You read for Grant again.
All right.
I will read for Selma. You read for Paul, and I read for John.
Okay, I'll read for Paul.
So it's same as last night.
yeah.
Or the
all
night
right.
we read through.
Yeah, works for me.
All right. And I don't have costumes. I don't have any costumes for this read through. So I mean, I'm gonna do a hand puppet maybe.
Do you think this is something you'd wear?
Yeah. I mean, maybe some bib overalls over top.
Yeah, but I love this shirt. I found this for the first time in like 3 years in my closet. I thought I lost it for good, but I got my checkered shirt back. I had 2 more. Somebody didn't like them. They thought I looked like I was going the first day of first grade, which, I don't know. Tell me in the comments. But, yeah, she burned those 2 shirts, and now I just have this one.
That sucks. All right, so this is the American Gothic. A little snippet of it, and this is when they see the house. If you look behind the picture, if you look behind the farmer and the daughter in the picture of American Gothic, you see the farmhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the scene when the artist finds the house for the first time with his friend John Oliver Sharp, who was another real person. Most of these people in this show are real people.
I think I forgot to ask you this. Where are they from?
Iowa.
Iowa.
I
have no idea what an Iowan accent sounds like.
You know?
So I'll just wing it again,
Okay.
like I
Okay.
did last time.
From what I know, a little bit of a twang, honestly. Although Grant himself he's very educated. He went to Minneapolis right after high school. And,
Got it.
European traveler all the time.
Perfect.
All right, so here we go. The stage reveals a farmhouse that is a replica of the one from the famous Grant Wood painting American Gothic. Mysterious music plays.
Well, what do you think? It's so drab.
What did I tell you?
But do you think it's inspiring enough? No. Why? And look at this house. They don't make them like they used to. It's perfect. And over here, a silo once stood. And now it's gone. The essence of materialistic things, the emotion. You mock me. I do not find it amusing. No, I mean, really, Grant, look at this place. Sure, it's drab, but that's the point, right? The filth is the emotion.
Grant, maybe he does have a point. It's dirty. It's old. It inspires me. I just don't know what to do with the inspiration.
Does it inspire you or just make you feel sad? Sad to see an abandoned house like itself to waste?
I don't think it's abandoned.
Really? You think some old farmer might still be cooped up in there? Honestly? Look, Grant, there's even some plants on the porch. They'd look lovely on the canvas. Those plants look freshly potted, so the place can't be completely
He
abandoned.
doesn't like it, Paul. Let's just keep driving down the road and see if anything else comes up.
Goes to show I know about what's inspiring and what's not. This is why I don't paint.
Sure, you don't paint. You just drink, smoke, and mess around. They leave, laughing. They notice Grant is not. Grant? You coming?
One moment.
What are you thinking, friend?
That window in the upstairs portion of the house, does it not look just intriguing to you? I never noticed it.
Well, it does look a bit strange, I suppose, but it's only a window. What makes you so interested in it?
John, I have been obsessed with windows since I could remember. When I was just a little boy, I remember reading The Craftsman every chance I got.
What's The Craftsman?
It's a magazine for handiwork, right? Dad used to love them. That's right, yes, and anyone who is a fan of The Craftsman would agree. How odd for a window of that architectural style to be placed on such a flimsy, framed home.
Oh, you're right. It is odd.
So what? What's the point? There is no point. It just raises a lot of questions. What a pretentious window for such a small little house. Did the middle-class farmer living in this house install this window on purpose for the sake of architectural design, or was the window replaced? Did something happen to the regular square window? And did the farmer had to do what he had lying around? It It raises questions. It inspires you. No, it just makes me curious. That style of frame is so popular in Europe. John knows this.
Yes, it is very popular.
To see such a beautiful styled frame matched with that plain, dirty siding, it just has to make the viewer want to ask the old farmer, tell me more about the upstairs window. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, how do you know the owner of the house is a farmer?
He is. Well, he used to be. Till he died 10 years ago. So I suppose the case is settled then. No one lives in the house.
A shotgun sound is heard. Selma angrily exits. Who's out there? I think someone lives in the house. Who do you think you are, talking about my house like that?
Ma'am, we don't mean any harm. I was just showing my friend here your home. He's a world-renowned painter.
And I deliver mail for a living. Who cares? Get off my property. Come on, I don't want to deal with this lady today.
You two go. I want to talk to this woman.
Are you sure about that? Yeah, Grant, are you sure about that?
Yes, I'm sure of it. Now, please. We'll talk to you tomorrow then, Grant. Come on, John. A fraidy cat.
I'm not a fraidy cat. It's just almost time for dinner is all. Now listen to me. I have watched my grandbaby all night, and I have to leave for work soon, and I'm tired and angry. You only have a few minutes to explain yourself, and then I'm calling the law.
Holding a gun that size? I figured you were the only law around here.
This gun belonged to my husband. He passed 12 years ago.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
Now I only use it to scare away the thieves, and if anyone might try and hurt me or my grandbaby.
It's just you and your grandchild living here?
Can't you just tell me why you're out here? What do you want, my entire family history?
Well, actually, that would be lovely.
Well, if you really want to know, I'm a proud third-generation Iowa farmer. My life is as dull as they come, mister. Every day I watch over my granddaughter. My daughter is away a lot, you see. Her and her husband are working on building a house of their own right next door. So if you're planning on robbing me, I wouldn't. I have eyes everywhere. I have some family in town, too. What's left of them. Mister, I didn't mean to scare you with a rifle. I'm just paranoid is all.
Oh, you never scared me. You sound like a very compassionate woman. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Grant Wood.
Selma Johnson.
It's nice to meet you, Selma. You have to forgive my friends. They are kids at heart.
They're sweet men. I hope they know I don't mean them any harm. What do you do for work? Are you really a world-renowned painter?
World-renowned? I only can dream. I paint from time to time. I have also done my share of school teaching. I'm very versatile.
And you want to paint a picture of my home?
Well, I don't know. Perhaps, if anything, a sketch.
Why?
Well, to be quite honest with you, the upstairs window, it fascinates me. It draws me into its complexity and makes me want to ask questions.
I know the window. My husband put it in. What questions do you have?
Well, where did it come from? Why is it there? It's an architectural beauty, is it not? The shape of the frame, it's magnificent. It almost has a European Gothic feel to it. And we're not in Europe, so it's very uncommon. That window frame reminds me of something I'd see in Paris, perhaps at a church. Does it not remind you of the steeple of a church? Perhaps that's why the farmer put it in the window, as a connection to his faith.
Henry built this house by hand years and years ago. That window has always been there, I think. You know, now that you mention it, I've never really noticed it.
Fascinating.
Mr. Wood, it's great to meet you. I hope your painting of my house becomes the first work to make you famous. I really do, but I have to get to my duties. I'm already running late as it is.
Oh, my apologies, madam. You said you haul mail for a living.
I haul mail and my grandbaby. That's about it.
A mail carrier. I knew I'd seen your face before. That must be what it is. I remember seeing you on your routes through town.
So you're a local. You have always lived here in Eldon.
Born and raised in Iowa, but I've traveled more than I'd stayed. I'm currently looking after my mother and sister.
You don't seem to be much of a bad man either, Mr. Wood.
Mrs. Johnston, would you mind if I stayed on your property a little bit longer? I think I'd just like to make one sketch out of the house, if that's all right.
Well, that's fine by me. I'll let my daughter and her husband know not to bother you. But, Mr. Wood, if this sketch gets you rich and famous, I want a share of the money, do you hear me? I've been living in this dirty little farmhouse for too long.
You have my word.
Selma exits. We hear the sound of an automobile starting and leaving. Grant studies the house, as a painter does. Mysterious music plays, and Grant pulls out an envelope, and this is true. He did his first sketch of the house on the back of an envelope. An envelope out of his back pocket, and begins to sketch the house using the space around him. And his movements should tell a story. I'm firm in that stage direction there. He stares at it in silence for a long moment.
American Gothic! I got it!
And he runs off, ecstatically happy. Lights fade down. And that is the end of the first scene. I really liked that scene, and I think the second time we read it through, I really liked it that time. And I like the way you delivered that.
Aw, shucks.
Maybe this guy should play Grant Wood in the American Gothic.
I would. I would.
This guy.
So what was that?
That was American Gothic, written by me. And you know what inspired me to write that, Mikey?
What inspired you?
I'm gonna bring this up later, I know, on the podcast. But one thing that inspired me was Red by James Logan. It's a play, and I made you watch it.
I liked it. I thought it was great.
The concept of bringing art to stage. Artists are so fascinating, as it is. They're characters. I feel like every artist you can think of is a character.
Not too much different from writers, honestly.
Yeah?
Be it playwrights or novelists. But, I think it's very different from Red. Because Red, I feel like the guy is very arrogant. I don't get, at least from the way you wrote it, that Grant Wood is arrogant.
Grant really cares about his country, and not so much just his country, but he cares about his community, the people that's around him. He doesn't like conflict, and I think the big word is nationalism. I think that's the big word I'm looking for when I'm describing my play. That's what Grant wants a sense of, because it's set in year 1930. It's right at the start of the Great Depression. Everyone's going through a really hard time, and another reason I wrote it is because I feel like everyone's going through a hard time right now. And you know what? I feel like almost everyone needs, in my opinion, is a sense of nationalism, whatever that means to you.
National pride. Nationalism, I don't know. Some people say it's a bad thing.
Some people do. But I think you don't have to take it politically either.
No, it doesn't have to be a military sort of thing. It could just be as simple as just, having pride in your country, your community.
Yeah, I take pride in my roots, and Grant Wood did the same thing, and I think that's what called me to write it.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Yeah, I really enjoyed the play. I think it's a great idea, and keep me in mind for Grant Wood.
Yeah, but enough about my play, American Gothic. It's a blast, and I want to do a full read-through on this channel soon.
Oh, I'm down. We should do that. Just
but
full
you have to pay $4.99.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess we should be more rehearsed. Like, it was kind of hard to read on my phone.
It is.
Like, that's why I kept thinking it was a different character, because it's like the text is so small.
That's what I'm saying. If we do, like, would you pay, if someone's watching this right now, would you pay $4.99 to watch a version that is a little more rehearsed like a play?
Oh, gee, I would.
If we're in a living room, I would too.
Did you hear that? We already got 2 people.
2 people that sound exactly like Mickey Mouse just said. The reason why I wanted to talk about American Gothic on here tonight, for one of the biggest reasons, is it is one of my favorite plays I've written. We've talked about Leave Me Tender on here.
That's my favorite play you wrote.
Thank you.
And
I think
still
I think still to this day it's mine as well. But American Gothic comes close just because I really love the story, and I think that it hasn't gotten the stage time it deserves.
No. Completely unique.
But that's one of my favorites. Not my all-time favorite. That's one of my favorites. But now I have to ask you. We've talked about this a little before, but what is the favorite play of yours that you've ever written? Play or musical?
Well, it's pretty... I've definitely mentioned it, but my Sleepy Hollow is my favorite. And I took, no shame, I took a lot of inspiration from 90s Disney movies. This detail is important. 90s Disney movies. Not past 10 years Disney movies.
Not Tangled.
Well, more or less Tangled. Once Bob Iger got into Disney, not him, but like before him, Eisner was the CEO's name. He actually pushed Disney to make all their animated films have storyboards like a real movie.
You want to give
that
Brom Bones that real Gaston vibe?
Well, I mean, I'd like to, but
I think that's what people expect.
I mean, Gaston is literally based on Brom Bones.
No doubt.
But anyways, yeah, I wrote this script. I wanted to do a unique take on Sleepy Hollow in the style of, a 90s Disney movie with that kind of music.
It's
I wrote it as a musical,
mm-hmm.
yeah. I actually fully orchestrated one song. And it's the villain song. That's the one we'll do for Behind the Curtain.
Coming soon.
Which I'm
Stick
excited
around.
about.
Great song.
Oh, thanks, bud. But yeah, it's a villain song just like you'd find in Disney movie from the 90s.
It's a great play. It's a great musical of yours, and it's finished.
It's finished. It's like the only... I think it is the only play you've finished. At least one that, like...
You struggled to write, but that one you got done. And
that... Well, you know what it was?
Not only did you get it done, though, you twisted it in a way where it wasn't just taking someone else's work or, like, pulling it out of the book.
It's totally different, yeah.
Of course you were inspired by Washington Irving with the story of the Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, Mikey's twist at the end, I don't want to spoil anything if you don't, but it's just so much different. It's really cool what you've done with it. So that's what I found interesting.
We did a version of Sleepy Hollow for years, and one of the things I didn't like about it is it's trying too hard to mimic Washington Irving's story verbatim. That includes, like, early American language that nobody's going to understand. You watch Beauty and the Beast, going back to Disney, you don't hear them talking
They use
French.
Right.
They
use modern slang, modern words.
Now, okay, you watch, like, Coco or the other one that's modern, they do speak Spanish, but, I mean, that's more common. People can understand that. Like, early American language, everybody's going to be like, what? Like, they use the word vittles.
It's also...
What the heck's vittles?
There's some, like, darker themes in those older versions too.
Oh yeah,
we're completely removed from both yours and mine, but yours especially takes such a family, lighthearted approach at it.
I like it. That's what I grew up on those.
It's
kinds
like
of movies.
It's like a classic musical that you would go with your family to see, and that's what I like about it.
But yeah, you got the dynamic of Brom Bones and Ichabod. I mean, they hate each other. And Brom Bones is trying to prank Ichabod, but then just spirals from just wanting to prank him into hating Ichabod. But Brom Bones, I also gave him motivation. I didn't want to just have him be just a bad guy, but I wanted to make him have a reason as to why he hates Ichabod. He has this curse, and it's introduced at the very beginning of the show, that his whole family's cursed because his great-grandfather chopped down this tree that then, there was like a bunch of gold in this tree. That
will make sense for why the song's titled.
Yeah, exactly. But he chopped down this tree that an ancient Native American chief put all this gold in. And, that releases the spirit, which then,
remember,
every son after gets his head chopped off. So, yeah, and that's what the song's about.
Similar to my Sleepy Hollow.
Well, I didn't realize that.
I know, neither of us did. You didn't remember My Sleepy Hollow at all.
I didn't.
The first time we read it. And we got them finished. We were literally writing them at the same time. But no, yours is really good. The fact that it's musical makes it even better.
And
I'm excited for this curse.
I hope we can do it this year. Somehow.
I texted Brett today. He said that he wanted to have a Sleepy Hollow audition soon. Brett, if you're watching this, this is how
please, I'm begging you.
And
I worked so hard on
Mikey,
this.
and I kind of don't. Brett, if you're also watching this, I kind of don't want to direct this year. I kind of want to be Ichabod because we've both played Ichabod and we've both played Brom Bones. But I can't lie to you. I can't. I think you were just a classic, amazing Brom Bones, and I think I'm a good
Exactly.
Ichabod.
I want to do the musical version of my show. And you sing that song. I know you can do your song, which we aren't doing on the podcast.
I don't want to give too much away. Do you know in October we're going to have a 2 back-to-back episode of your Sleepy Hollow
we are?
and mine? Yeah.
Well, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. But Brett, if you're watching this,
please.
Mikey really is
I'm begging you.
Very passionate about this.
Yeah. But
and I'm here to vouch for him. It's a good script.
But I'd like to do a series of like scripts in this style. This sort of family-oriented, story-driven, just on like fairy tales, like Rapunzel.
Folk tales, fairy tales.
I mean, even though they did Tangled, I can write one called Rapunzel and not have a problem. You can't do Beauty and the Beast because everybody's like, oh, that's Disney. But if you say Rapunzel,
you could do a Robin Hood.
I could do a Robin Hood.
Peter Pan, can't you do a Peter Pan?
Yeah, I could do a Peter Pan, but I feel like that's like so overdone at this point. And it's like they all want him to fly across the stage, and it's like, how do you do that?
Well, maybe it takes a good playwright to make a good one.
Oh, you're right. Maybe it's a Peter Pan that doesn't fly.
A new twist by Mikey Mills. Woo. But no, I'm excited. I really hope we do get to do your Sleepy Hollow. But for now, what we can offer the viewers is a fun little song from the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, for the behind the curtain, we will be doing. Mikey Mills will be singing
This Curse of Mine. And for the video, I'll be showing the orchestra tracks. Music for all the instruments I do music for, and also orchestrating songs for like shows. And
a lot of time, a lot of dedication has been put into this.
Anything musical, I use this program.
Here we go.
It's such a tragedy, a perfect man like me, such a prophecy to run his life. Whatever did I do to have my head cut through, and I don't have a clue when it will be. My family's fate will do me in. The one and out can't be a sin. Since time is running low, I can't be dumb or slow. I gotta get the thing I want. This curse of mine, I really wanna break it. I hate this fine. My father's father makes me pay. This curse of mine. I don't know just how long I'll live for. My neck and spine will be together in a little while. I'm waiting, hating, all this fading. I'm equating anywhere to escape because this curse of mine is just a nasty little present from Father Mine and all the headless men who came before. From all the human race, I'd leave without a trace. If I could find a man to take my place, it might be evil, no, it's me or him, and Mr. So-and-so can get the whack. I'm sure you all must understand. I think we might just have a plan to get ahead in life, to keep my head from knife. We'll get a sacrifice, and then this curse of mine, I think it might be getting broken. To be the kill is gonna be a thing you'll never know. I just love this town, but I just might be getting going. I won't back down until I know I'm gonna be okay. I'm just waiting, hating, all this fading. I'm equating anywhere to escape because this curse of mine is just a nasty little present from Father Mine and all the headless men before him and the one before him. You old granddaddy, I'm saving our family tree for me.
That was good.
Oh, thanks.
That was great. You're a great Brom Bones. The voice, the role fits you so well. And the song fits you really well, too.
I couldn't hit that second high note, so I did it like an octave below, though.
Well...
You didn't notice?
I did. Because you sang it the other night, and you didn't do that. But,
has to be the right humidity.
That's a good song. That was definitely one of the first songs you wrote. I'm just picturing it because you were so excited to write it. You were like, oh, the villain song for Brom Bones. I've got to go ahead and start writing.
I was excited about that. And then your song, that's the other one.
Right.
Knowledge is the Key.
You sent me the orchestra or the instrumental of that one.
Well, it was just like the piano part. Mm-hmm. How I did it was I just did a piano part first with all like the flourishes and embellishments and counter melodies. Because that's pretty much how I work on like my player piano stuff.
And that was fun. That sounded just like Ichabod Crane music.
Yeah.
So enough about our plays. The viewers, they don't care about our plays.
What?
They don't. They hate us.
That hurts.
They want to know, what are our favorite plays and shows and musicals and straight plays that are just our favorites all time? Which I haven't gave any thought of this until just at this moment. So
I usually go for like, when you say favorite, I look like dream roles, like who I'd want to play. Harold Hill, Music Man.
Well, don't look at it like that. Don't. Just look at it like an audience
look at
member.
it in terms of like what's really...
Or you're reading it.
What's well written.
Sure.
What's good.
Sure.
Like, for instance, Bye Bye Birdie is enjoyable, but it's not well written. But Big Fish, that's a fantastically written show. I've mentioned it before. That's probably one of my favorite musicals. I also really, really love Hello, Dolly. That's a really powerful and great show from the Golden Age.
I've been listening to a lot of Hello, Dolly recently.
What about you? You can start and I'll think of a couple others.
Well, you keep listing off musicals. The only one that came into my head, like, first off for a musical was Little Shop of Horrors.
Little Shop is fantastic.
Classic comedy.
So good. Fantastic. Great music,
and
great story.
The fact it just stands true for a long time. It's just kept up. Everything. I don't know, though. We mentioned Red by James Logan. That's one of my newest favorites.
That's a good play.
I'm a huge fan of Sam Shepard. Buried Child, True West. I like one thing by Star Kid, Trail to Oregon, but you're not a big fan of that one.
No, I just think it's too...
I love the comedy.
I'm a cheesy guy, but like if I'm watching
it's sad. It is so sad because you would play the father, the leading man, like just one of the most amazing roles. I do agree there's some bad parts of that, but it's a guilty pleasure. It's one of my favorites.
Obnoxious humor. I can't get into it. It's like when people just like, we got too loud just because we're being loud. It's like I can't. It's like, ugh, come on, just tell a real joke.
To each their own. What are your others?
Oh, okay. Plays, musicals.
Well, can you think of any plays? You haven't listed a play yet.
You're right.
I know for a fact of some you like.
I love Glass Menagerie. I was in that. I'm going through others I was in that I didn't like. Wow, do I really not like that many plays?
Death of a Salesman.
Death of a Salesman.
Do you like that one?
That's a great play, and I know it's good because I saw a terrible production of it, and I still liked it.
And they had the script on stage.
No, they had the understudy that night for the leading character, and the understudy must have not known he'd actually get called because he knew none of the lines. The other actors were literally feeding him the lines. But it's such a good script, such a powerful story that somehow it was still enjoyable, and I got a tear in my eye.
And there's right now or back then?
Back then.
I thought you meant right now. I was like, what? I thought you were crying just thinking. I was like, okay, that's a little much if you're crying just thinking about it.
No, I got a tear in my eye, and the director of my high school shows was sitting next to me. He was like, I can't believe how bad it was. I was like, oh, yeah, it was really bad.
It's an emotional show. I like a show that does that, though.
Yeah.
What is the other one that is like...
Streetcar Named Desire.
That's it.
That's a great play.
I don't know a ton about that one, but you like that.
How haven't you read that when you literally wrote a play in the style of Tennessee Williams?
I haven't read it yet. I read the first scene.
You can even read, or watch the movie version with Marlon Brando, and it's in black and white. But it's just a very dark show, and very much like, Leave Me Tender.
Dark themes,
very much, kind of horrible people in the show. But it's really good. It's like a character study.
Which is, when there's awful villains, make a good story.
Oh, absolutely.
I really do like Buried Child. I would direct Buried Child. I would star in Buried Child as multiple roles.
Never seen it.
I'm pretty sure you have.
I don't know. It's like...
It's the one where the old man's on the couch. He gets corn dumped on him.
That doesn't ring a bell at all. Old man gets corn dumped on him.
To anyone that doesn't know... Well, it's similar. To anyone that's listening to that and doesn't know what Buried Child is, they're like, what the heck is that? It's similar. It has dark themes, and it's a really good show. I like it.
You know what's really good?
You'd be a really good Tilden. He has a... I'm not going to finish. You have to go watch the show if you want to know.
You know, it's a good musical that is going to make everybody's eyes roll just because it's well written. It's very well done. It's Shrek the Musical. They did a great job putting that movie to the stage.
I'd agree. It was great on the Broadway version.
Fantastic. Rodgers and Hammerstein, Carousel is excellent. Great music. Literally, there's the record album. South Pacific, didn't age that well. Sound of Music.
The Music Man.
Music Man is fantastic.
Yeah.
Love the music. Unique. You have the barbershop quartets. I Want to Be Harold Hill.
Forever Plaid.
Oh, that's
Do
great.
you like Forever Plaid? I'm a big fan of
I
Forever
loved
Plaid.
it. But in The Producers, that's my all-time favorite musical.
The
How
Producers.
did I forget that?
Mel Brooks. Anything Mel Brooks, man.
His musicals are so good. And I don't even think his movies are that funny.
Well, I mean...
But his musicals just knock it out of the park. The Producers is fantastic.
He wrote his movies knowing that what he was doing, they could be turned into musical
100%.
adaptations. So he probably knew the musical adaptation would be better.
Mm-hmm. And apparently...
You have to take stuff out of a play if you're making a movie, right? Because there's more...
But The Producers, which originally was a movie, was based on, I think, a real-life experience about someone wanting to make money on a flop. I mean, those who haven't seen The Producers wouldn't know this, but it's about, this tax accountant comes in and tells this struggling producer that you can make more money with a flop than with a hit. And he does.
That's it.
Is that a good Matthew Broderick impression?
That was better. We have a new ad to sponsor tonight. The brand is Feisty. Feisty Sunglasses have sent us some new shades to showcase here on Struggling to Write. We're going to test them. We're going to see how they work.
I feel cooler already.
I do as well. Word
up, brother.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Now, wait, Mikey. This is the pair of sunglasses that I'm excited for, because you think, the sunglass company makes affordable, good quality sunglasses that look like regular. You look great. That look like regular sunglasses, but no.
I know I look great.
Check this out.
Holy smoke! Give me that. I always wanted one of these. This is sick. Can I have it?
You take it.
Yes, I worked at the Shrek rave on Friday. This is fantastic. Yeah, they look really neat. And they're reasonable, not expensive.
No.
I'd buy them. As long as they protect your eyes and make you look real freaking cool.
That's right. Mikey has got...
Oh, yeah!
You know who you look like?
Who?
You look like Max from a Goofy movie when he's dressed as Powerline. Yeah, Mikey, so we're going to Chicago.
I'm excited.
I don't know when we're going yet.
Beautiful city. Hopefully we can stay at the same hotel, the Palmer House. It's this beautiful turn-of-the-century hotel.
First place that ever invented the brownie.
Brownies invented at the Palmer House. But it's beautiful. Like, we walked all around, and you got these murals, all these columns.
Well, I want to do a special episode. You had mentioned where we revise a script.
Yes. I think that would be a
I
really
think if
fun
we have
idea.
until we go to Chicago and do an episode in Chicago.
And I feel like we should not show each other the revisions until we film it.
But
and get our reactions.
I want to know, what plays are we going to revise?
You know what I kind of want to revise? Night of the Living King.
Wow. That would be a tough one, Mikey. Because that is a horrible play.
Oh. I got ideas.
Okay.
I got ideas.
Okay, Night of the Living King it is then. We'll revamp it. Concert Hall 9.0 for those of you who know. Okay, and what play do you want me to revise of yours?
Hey, whatever you want.
Okay.
Give it to me. What do you think?
I would like to revise
Title of play.
The Adventures of Nolan Dice.
All right, that works for me. I'll send you a copy of it, and you do your magic.
The Adventures of Nolan Dice needed some work, so I'll do that one.
It had a coherent plot structure.
But I think
what it was.
I think there's room to work with there, and it could be a real good play.
Although I gotta say, it is hard for you to probably come up with a play for me to revise because I haven't finished that many. So it's like it's not even at the point.
I was thinking
revised.
that. I mean, I could take Sleepy Hollow and just completely swap it around and change it.
Oh, I'd be butthurt.
Well, you're obviously gonna keep a copy just in case, right?
Oh, 100%.
I would too. I'm just making sure we're not just.
Oh no, we're not just throwing everything else out the window.
Like you were a great playwright, but
Oh.
I know you'd write something silly goose material in my play. Yeah. So the last thing that we do here on Struggling to Write, we always end it in a musical goodbye.
Yeah. Pull that down. Just do like a 3-chord structure. You get like C to G, then the F maybe, and then back to C. Oh, faster than that. All right. Goodbye. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching this episode. We hope you had some fun. Goodbye to you. We'll see you again. I kind of forgot the chords I told you to do, but I sang it anyway. Bye. See ya.
Goodbye, my baby. Goodbye, my darling.
Goodbye, my ragtime gal.
Is it hello, my baby?
Yeah, it's hello, my baby. Hello, my honey.
Hello,
my ragtime gal.
Send me
a kiss by wire. Baby, my heart's on fire. If you refuse me, baby, you lose me, then you'll be left alone. So, baby, telephone and let me be your own. We take tips.